And we start off this one today much like we did with freestyle last night, showcasing two guys that have been very dominant in this event, talking about Rob Adelberg and Jackson Strong.
Yeah, two guys that have just dominated best trick the last couple of years, and for good reasons. You know, coming out with front flips. The front flip was debuted by Jackson Strong in 2011, and here we are 8 years later, only two guys doing it still.
I was going to say, can you believe that? It goes all the way back to the Staples Center in 2011 when he first unleashed that one on us. So taking a look at some highlights of best trick history from Rob Adelberg, but there's the man we've been speaking of right there. Front flips and front flip combos.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me that they can throw combos in these things. The front flip's such a difficult trick. Getting it off the ramp, making sure you're spinning right and timing the jump. Now they're taking hands and feet off, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Well, he's had some injuries to start off the year, but that was his last best trick win. That was at X Games Shanghai, which was back in June. So taking a look at our start list, we have 7 athletes in the mix out here today. It's pretty much our freestyle lineup from last night, but we're also going to add the Frenchman David Rinaldo into the mix out here. So Harry Bink and David Rinaldo. Then we'll see Josh Sheehan, Taka Higashino, Clinton Moore, Rob Adelberg, and of course the man we've been talking about, Jackson Strong right there. 6 medals and 6 Moto X best trick starts. But before we get this competition underway, we're going to learn a little bit more about Jackson Strong right now.
G'day, my name's Jackson Strong. I'm 27 years old from Lockhart, Australia. I think progression is best tricks yin to yang. It's not like a marathon runner or a sprinter can make small increments every year, but freestyle motocross, it's man and machines. As technology progresses, so do we. I live on the other side of the world, so I'm not going to come the whole way over the pond to play it safe. So tonight I have a trick that I've been thinking about for around 8 years now and tried over and over, but could never quite get it. So I had a little bit more success back in Australia with Skippy, my kangaroo, as my coach, and she steered me in the right direction. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get this thing wheels down for the landing.
So a little bit of insight right there as to how Jackson Strong prepares coming into these events. And believe it or not, all of that was shot on an iPhone. There was actually an iPhone XR there, Mike. So this is how the competition works. As I mentioned before, we have 7 riders in the mix, basically here in Monster Energy Moto X. Best trick, you get 2 attempts. The best possible run score you can get out here is 100 points, and hopefully that is going to be good enough to get a gold medal around your neck out here tonight. But as I said before, Mike, Monster Energy Moto X best trick is all about progression, innovation. You could get that shock value. You bring something new to the party, the judges could reward you for that.
Yeah, that's what best trick's all about, is coming up with something new. We saw a little bit of it in freestyle last night, but today's a new day and they only have to concentrate on one trick. They're not trying to think of a 75-second run, so they just got to lay it all on the line. Yeah, they're not trying to string together an entire run of tricks. It's all about getting out there one and done. Another guy who has the front flip in his arsenal, we have not mentioned him yet. This is another Australian. Starting it off, it's Harry Bink. Huge heart attack flip there. That's a good start for Harry. We kind of mentioned it last night in the broadcast. He's coming off of shoulder reconstruction, excuse me. And you know,
back in December.
Yeah, back in December. So he hasn't had a whole lot of time on the bike. I'm sure he's just trying to put in a couple solid runs here.
Maybe just start this one off, getting a little nerves there, having to start off the competition. Sometimes that gets in your head a little bit.
Yeah,
he's kind of a rookie to this. He's relatively a newcomer.
Yeah, he's still young, and it is always weird when you're doing practice and then you sit around for a couple hours and you get thrown into the TV spotlight there. It'll definitely get the nerves going. So
looking relatively happy with that first run score right there. We'll see what he brings here in round number 2. He's going to start off the scoring there with an 80.33. Before we get to our next competitor right here out of France, David Rinaldo, we're going to check in right now with Diana down there in the field.
Yeah, David has a trick that we've never seen before. It's a body varial in a backflip. Will this be the year that a backflip beat out the front flip for gold? He's really nervous. He hasn't landed this trick to dirt. Let's just say that, guys.
All right, so let me ask you on the strategy side of things. Do you just send this in your first attempt and get it out of the way, or do you think he goes out there and tries to do something else and then save it for the second round?
I definitely think you try and get it out of the way first try, but the good thing is if he gets a weird little pop or doesn't flip right and just kind of has to, you know, do a grab and get the feel for it, he's got that in his bag as well.
So this is David Rinaldo from France in his 3rd X Games appearance. His best finish he's ever had was 5th place in speed and style, as well as a 5th place finish in freestyle.
Get it! Get it!
Oh,
yeah!
my goodness, the right front of the bar to the last possible second.
And he came into this event injured. You know, he's not 100%, and he just stuck that. That's a brand new trick. No one's ever done that to dirt. He hasn't even done that to dirt.
That has never been done before. Only been done into the foam. He's not done it to dirt, and he makes it happen here at X Games Minneapolis.
That's what best trick is all about right there, is progression.
David Rinaldo pushing it to a new level here today inside the US Bank Stadium. Take another look at it right here with our Pacifico Spider Cam. Watch the right hand.
That is just insane. There is so much going on there. You can see he almost over-rotates the backflip, and look at that, reaching back to his grab, spins his body all the way around his bike, kind of like a Cali roll like they would do, right side up. And
his arms are crossed up at that point.
I don't,
on the cutouts.
I do not know how you keep track of where you're at. And look at his hand blows off. I mean, he might even get extra points for a one-hand lander. Who knows? But
watch his forearms here. He's grabbing. He's crossed up. He's so pretzeled up right now.
I have goosebumps right now. No one's ever done that trick, and huge props to Rinaldo for coming out and bringing something new. That's what you need to do in best trick, and that has a good chance of sticking to gold.
He came in so back tire heavy. And talk about that, a 94 flat. Second rider in round one, and we're already in the mid-90s. Where do we go from here?
I don't know. That was so awesome. I love seeing that stuff.
And you can just see the sigh of relief. Look at it. Hey, you have every right to be emotional right now. How back tire heavy he was, and talk about what happens when your hand blows off the bars and how hard that is to save that.
That's what's really hard is, you know, he came down a little front end high and it blew his hand off. And I mean, that was inches away from blowing him off the bike. And, you know, he has to go into his second run and do it.
Well, there we go. Two riders in, and we're already at 94. We're taking a look at Josh Sheehan right now, but before we see him, we had a chance to sit down with him and see what motivates him to try to get on the podium here at X Games Minneapolis 2019.
G'day, I'm Josh Sheehan, 33 years old from Donnybrook, Western Australia, and I'll be competing in freestyle motocross in X Games Minneapolis. Everyone wants to win, so naturally we put ourselves under pressure, or we feel the pressure when we're there because we all want to perform, everyone's watching, and it's a big deal. It's tough, it's hard just missing out on the podium, so this year I definitely want a medal. One trick that scares me a lot is the 360 grab. If you're getting sideways in the air and then straightening it up for the landing, there's always that risk of coming in sideways, trying to get the bike as flat as possible and hang as vertical as possible. But the flatter it is, the more vertical I am, then the more the bike has to swing straight to land. Minneapolis is an awesome event where the venue is just amazing. It's a massive big venue. They seem to love the sports up that way, so I'm looking forward to getting back to Minneapolis.
Well, Josh Sheehan was on point last night in Moto X Freestyle. Everything was just so dialed, so clean, so crisp. It netted him a silver medal last night. What a performance he had.
Yeah, he rode great last night, and I know he's looking for another medal here. He's got some tricks in his bag. I mean, we got to remember this guy in 2015 had the only triple backflip. I mean, he doesn't have the setup here, but that just goes to prove that he has what it takes for best trick.
Had 1.5 million YouTube views when he did that triple backflip right there. He's got double backflips and double backflip combos in his arsenal. This is Josh Sheehan.
Yeah, much of what we saw last night, a massive double backflip no-hander. I don't think people understand how hard that trick is. You know, getting the bike to rotate twice is one thing, but keeping your hands off and keeping that bike spinning, that's an intense trick.
To steal a quote from you from last night, you saw those in the early days, and you had to yank so hard to get that double rotation, and he just makes it look simple. And look at how late he takes the hands off and how long he holds it off the bars.
Yeah, and you got to deal with a lot of variables there. You got to make sure your bars aren't turning, like I said, on top of making sure your bike's rotating. Bottoming out right there, his feet touching the ground, dragging some dirt. That was a great trick.
I don't know that left foot actually came off right there and actually drag that one out a little bit. Yeah, how much will that count up on the score right there with the little toe drag?
Yeah, I don't think they'll dock him too much for that. That's just it's a hard landing coming off that super kicker.
Well, this is round 1 of 2 with 7 athletes in the mix. We've only seen 3 riders take their first attempt, but that guy right there, David Rinaldo, came out and lit this place up with a brand new trick with this body varial backflip. It was a little scary, came in back tire heavy. The right hand blows off the bars, but he still hangs on, and he sets the bar with a 94 flat to get this party started. We'll have more from Monster Energy Moto X Best Trick when we come back.
Morgan Wade just put a ladder in front of the 60-foot drop on the roll-in.
This is what it's about. Here it comes. Over the ladder.
Oh, yeah, the drop off. Oh my God. Can you imagine trying to do that on the biggest stage here in BMX?
Just one of the crazy highlights of the weekend. That was Morgan Wade last night in the Real Cost BMX Big Air on our Real Cost Daily Backfire right there. But here on day 3 of 4 X Games Minneapolis 2019, we are smack dab in the middle of Monster Energy Moto X Best Trick. And to start off this competition, we had something brand new, never been done before in freestyle motocross. And for more on that, we're going to send it down to Diana.
David, you have just done something we have never seen before. What do you even call this trick?
I call it the Malachi flip.
The Malachi flip. Where did you get that name from?
Long story. It's a long story of stoner night. Yeah, it's a Malachi flip. That's it.
All right, so Malachi flip. Everyone here is hugging you. So excited. What was it like preparing for this year's event?
It was like a lot of practice in the front pit, in airbag. Also, it was two difficult months because I was like, as soon as I get my invite for X Games, I get injured, and I just back on the bike since 1 week. So it was like 1 week, like every day, morning to evening, front pit, front pit, front pit. And now I just landed, and I don't want to talk about it anymore because like yeah, too much, you know.
Okay, well, thank you very much, David. Guys, we're going to take it back up to you.
After being on the bike for only 1 week, that is pretty impressive there, Mr. Rinaldo. So there you go. I guess we have to call it the Malachi flip now. So he's sitting in the top spot with a 94 flat, followed by Josh Sheehan and Harry Bink. And we still have the bottom half of the run order left to go. There's 7 riders in the field, so the bottom 4 still have yet to take their first attempts. And then we go into round 2. But, man, that 94 is going to be a tough one to beat. Taka Higashino, you saw him in freestyle last night, riding with an injured lower back this weekend.
Going with a nice body varial there. That's the Cali roll. That's basically what Rinaldo did with his backflip. So that can kind of put it into perspective. You can see how crazy it is right side up, let alone doing it while you're trying to flip a motorcycle.
Taka actually threw a combo into that. The Cali roll to a late no-footer there. Look how clean he gets around on this. Taka makes these look so easy.
Yeah, he's so dialed on tricks. And going for a little...
He wanted to heel click that one, but didn't have enough hang time.
Maybe the legs are a little too short. I don't know if he had enough leverage there.
So Taka crashed on a double backflip prior to coming into X Games Minneapolis, and it compressed his lower back, so we did not see him send the double back last night. However, making that Cali roll combo look super, super easy out here. He didn't ride like he had a lower back injury last night in freestyle. He looked really, really solid.
Yeah, he's always a solid guy, and crazy having dinner with him and him telling me he just could barely even stand up, and then all of a sudden he goes out and just throws down such an impressive run.
Yeah, he didn't look like he had skipped a beat at all, so he gets an 83.33. That's good enough to slide him into the podium right now, so it's Rinaldo, Sheehan, and Higashino. Clinton Moore had to sit this one out last year after a broken right tib fib that he suffered in practice, and then he comes into 2019 X Games with some adversity. He sent his shock over here from Australia. His suspension didn't make it here in time. It actually showed up this morning, so now he's riding on his actual suspension today.
Yeah, going with a nice volt there, another variation of a body varial. And, you know, he had a little bit of a rough go last night, and coming back from last year, breaking his leg in the first practice. I know he wanted a better showing, and like you said, losing the suspension was not the good start, but this is a good start to best trick for him.
He stacked himself pretty good last night. His first run in freestyle, it was an alley-oop flare that took him down. And then on that last body varial combo we saw last night, he took a pretty good knock and got right back up from that and walked away. But that's going to be a completely different mindset for him to actually be on the suspension that he wanted to ride here this weekend. He had to go outsource one yesterday.
Yeah, we spend so much time riding our bikes and getting dialed with our situation or our setups that when you get into a situation like he did yesterday, it just makes the whole thing uncomfortable.
So he'll get an 85.33 and he'll jump into the number 3 position as of right now. Rob Adelberg, we talked about him at the top of the show. One of 2 guys who was very dominant in this aspect of the sport. He's coming off of a gold medal performance in freestyle last night.
Not like Rob at all there, just got a little bit slow in the rotation, was still going for the variation. And, I mean, these guys got 2 runs, but you wonder if that gets in his head a little bit. He knows he's got to step up with what Rinaldo did.
Just a little bit tentative here on the takeoff.
Yeah, guys, you know what that was? He was trying to do a front flip with no hands, then grab the bars, then land the trick with no hands. He just couldn't ride that one out.
Got out of it pretty clean for all things said and done there.
I was going to say, for sending a front flip across a 75-foot gap like that, he got out of that one virtually unscathed. Just a little dirt on the grips right there, but the bike didn't look like it took too much of the impact right there. So we'll have to see what happens. Mr. Adelberg in round number 2. There is your current leader. That is David Rinaldo with that body varial backflip. So we take a look at Jackson Strong here. Most X Games gold medals in a single Moto X discipline. You look at that graphic there on the left-hand side.
Guys, he's making it look so easy. I spoke to Jacko right before he went for his pass, and he told me the ramp is positioned in a way that's making it more difficult than usual for the front flip, but he just made it look so easy, so fluid, and clean.
It's kind of odd that these guys are having some issues here, because in practice they looked They looked really, really clean with all of this.
Yeah, everything looked great there, smooth, but I don't know if that's enough. And yeah, it's not. Rinaldo's got a pretty good lock on this thing right now.
So Jackson Strong kicks in with a 91.33. We're going to take a quick break in competition right now and send it over to our ABC News host. Taking a look at some great video from practice throughout the weekend here. Moto X venue here inside the US Bank Stadium, and all of this again shot on an iPhone XR. So just some quality look-ins right there. It's some behind-the-scenes action going on here at X Games Minneapolis 2019. Here on day 3 of 4, we are in the middle of Monster Energy Moto X Best Trick. Round 1 is in the books. They get 2 runs each. It's the better of those 2 runs that count. The best possible score you can get out here in Monster Energy Moto X Best Trick is 100 points. And right out of the gate, second rider in, it is David Rinaldo, who raised the bar with a 94 flat and brought in something that had never been done before, a body varial backflip. That is the shot of the man himself right there from France, who is sitting in the #1 spot with another round of competition left to go. Hello, everyone. Jimmy Coleman here. Mike Mason to my right. We've got Dinah Dogger out there in the field. Well, that 94 flat, that is going to be a tough one to beat there, Mr. Mason.
It sure is. You know, that's what Best Trick is all about. The judges are going to reward creativity and thinking outside of the box, and that's exactly what Dave did.
Well, Jackson Strong sitting in a silver medal spot right now with a 91.33, followed by Josh Sheehan in bronze with an 89.33. Here we go, round 2 underway. This is Harry Bink.
Oh, triple combo out of the backflip there. That's not going to net him a medal, but Harry's, you know, he's the definition of fun. He's out here enjoying his time in America, from Australia, doing the Harry dance there. Surprising he has his jersey on, honestly, but...
I'm going to say, usually by this point in the night, he's got the jersey ripped off and he's running around doing the sprinkler dance out there.
Exactly.
I talked to him about that, and he said, guys, I got a lot of emails from my sponsors saying you have to keep on the jersey. So this year, I'm going to keep it on to make them happy.
He's getting emails telling him to tone it down. Harry, you're growing up.
That's the downfall to having you don't get paid by your own skin, you know. So you got to run the jersey and run the logos.
It's a shame. He's got quite a tattoo on his back right there. He's actually got a tattoo of his younger brother that takes up his entire back.
Yeah.
So there is a shot of your current leader. I mean, you don't have to come out and do it again. You've already got a 94 flat. So how about just go out there and take a victory lap right now? Because that 94 is going to be real, real hard to beat.
Yeah, go out and enjoy your stress-free now. You've got the lead. Yeah, I love that trick there. That's actually his signature trick. I believe it's called the Joy Twist. I can't remember from a couple of years ago, but he's the only one doing that. Makes it stylish.
Just having some fun. The pressure is off. He lit that one up in the first round. By the way, David's the only rider in the field who has never competed in Best Trick before, so that's not a bad start. Your first ever appearance in FMX Best Trick, and you're sitting in the top spot.
That's a great debut, and that's such an awesome trick. It's cool, you know, you get wrapped up in the front flips, the double back flips, but that's just cool to see. Go out there. Most guys would just go out there and not even do their second run. To see Davey maximizing his time here at X Games and doing a stylish trick like that's awesome.
I can't even begin to imagine the amount of pressure, as he was talking to Diane earlier, saying that he'd only done it to the airbag and into foam and never having done that to dirt before. Only been back on the bike for a week and then come out here, the cameras are rolling, the lights are on, the pressure. Congratulations to you, David Rinaldo, getting it done here in round one. The Australians have won 7 of the last 8 gold medals when it comes to Moto X Best Trick here at the X Games. If David Rinaldo's 94 flat holds up here today, that'll be the first time a Frenchman has ever taken Best Trick gold.
Yeah, Australians have had quite a lock on Best Trick for some time now, and Rinaldo comes in there and mixes things up, but I'm sure Sheehan's got something to say about it.
It'll actually be the first European, because in the past it's only been USA, Australian, or New Zealand riders. So there's a little international stats for you in the history of Moto X Best Trick here at the X Games. Josh Sheehan looking at a bronze medal as of right now. What does he do here in round number 2, Mike?
Definitely stepping up on the double backflip no-hander there. I think that one's better than his first run. He knows he's got to do something to get this medal, because we still have Rob Adelberg sitting there wanting to up his score as well on the front flip no-hander.
Josh trying to double up and take another medal. He's got a silver from freestyle last night as we take another look at the double backflip no-hander.
It's just insane what these guys are doing now. It's Best Trick has come so far. Freestyle motocross in general has just come so far. Right when you think it's going to peak and taper off and no one knows what's going to happen next, you got these guys out here stepping it up.
Yeah, he's one of 3 athletes in X Games history to earn 3 Moto X medals at a single X Games. He did that back in Austin in 2016. Clinton Moore has done it, and Mike Metzger has done it as well, just to give you some of the stats on Josh Sheehan. There are 9 medals and 20 X Games starts for that gentleman right there. He bumped up the score to a 90, so he cracks into the 90s there. So trying to solidify that spot, because like you said, he knows that Rob Adelberg's still to come here. Rob had to crash that first go-around as we welcome back in Japan's Taka Higashino.
Yeah, just another Cali roll, same as he did in his first run there. It's gnarly because the Cali roll is crazy when they go back to the slow-mo here. He'll be taking off actually with his hand in his grab on his cutout behind him. So he takes off one hand and spins around his bike, grabs back onto the bars, and you know that trick's gonna put him down towards the bottom of the pack. Freestyle motocross is insane. Right there you can see his hands taking off with the grab, spinning around, has to find the bars. I mean, he makes it look easy, but to people out there watching this, it's pretty crazy.
Just puts that one down with relative ease. You need a 90 or better to get into the top 3 as of right now. David Rinaldo sitting in that top spot with a 94. Jackson Strong in second with a 91.33, and Josh Sheehan in bronze as of right now with a 90. But there is the man of the hour, and this is what he did in round number 1, a body varial backflip. Can anyone take him down? We'll have the conclusion of Monster Energy Moto X Best Trick when we come back.
X Games Minneapolis is brought to you by Pacifico Beer. Live life anchors up. Discover responsibly.
So a fun-filled Saturday afternoon here in the Twin Cities outside the U.S. Bank Stadium. All sorts of things going on out there at the X Fest. You got sponsor booths, you've got interactive skate parks, you've got athlete signings, all in the backdrop there of the U.S. Bank Stadium. But here inside, all eyes are on Monster Energy Moto X Best Trick. We are in round 2 of 2. We are down to our final 3 competitors, and the story here right now is that gentleman right there, second rider into the opening round, brought a brand new trick to the party, and it netted him a 94 flat, and he sits in the top spot as of right now. That is David Rinaldo, followed by Jackson Strong and Josh Sheehan here. That is your 1, 2, 3 as of right now. But hold on, we still have the likes of Clinton Moore. Rob Adelberg's got some front flip combos in his arsenal of tricks, and he had a crash in the first round. And then we wrap up the party with Jackson Strong. So it is far from over. That is Clinton Moore right there. We told the story earlier. He shipped the suspension over here from Australia. It didn't make the trip. It finally showed up this morning.
Yeah, he took a fall last night, and he said, my whole left side is super tender. My arm's a little banged up, but I'm going to go out there. I'm going to have fun, put on a show for the crowd.
I actually have to give him credit that he's out here riding. I mean, that last crash that he took last night on that body burial combo, he bounced hard, got up and walked away under his own power.
Yeah, we were talking earlier too, his first crash in his first run, it was just one of those like slow dead crashes that kind of hurts bad too, you know. So he took a beating last night, but that's actually the trick he crashed on called the Bundy. He throws a little variation of an Indy where his legs are kind of scissored, and he stomps, and I'm sure for him, he knows that's not probably going to get him in the top 3, but it probably feels good to land it after what happened last night.
I was going to say, after 2 crashes last night, and then to find out your suspension shows up this morning, get to ride on your own equipment out here today, that's got to be a good relief for him. And again, he sat this one out last year. He got injured in practice, and he had to watch this from a hospital bed last year. So welcome back to the X Games, Clinton Moore. Rob Adelberg on the outside looking in. He currently sits in 7th place. He had an uncharacteristic crash. Can he clean it up here in round 2 and get this front flip combo?
Oh, I know he wanted more out of that. I'm sure that first run got in his head just a little bit. He had the weight of the world on his shoulders right there. He knew he needed to stomp it. And, you know, when you crash, it shakes you up just a little bit. You can see him shaking his head. He's not thrilled with it. I mean, he still did a front flip over 75 feet. Let's not discredit it.
We're at that point in the sport where guys are shaking their heads after successfully landing a front flip after across 75 feet.
Yeah, now the interesting thing here, that was a clean front flip, like I said, 75 feet, but is it going to be enough to move past Sheehan for 3rd place and get a medal?
Well, Rob got himself a gold medal in freestyle last night. That was his first ever freestyle gold medal. He got a silver in best trick at X Games Shanghai, which happened back at the beginning of June of this year. He also has a best trick gold medal in snowbike best trick from earlier this year at X Games Aspen. We're being told that Jackson Strong is not going to take his final run, so that is it. The Frenchman, David Rinaldo, has done it right out of the gate. 2nd rider in, 1st run with a 94 flat.
I love it, man. That's so awesome to see him come over here, put the work in. Like I said, be creative, get a new trick, and get rewarded for it. Congratulations, Rinaldo. Awesome job.
First European rider to ever win a best trick. Prior to that, it had only been done by someone from New Zealand, Australia, or the U.S. right there. And the first time he ever competes in best trick, he walks out of here with a gold medal, followed by Jackson Strong and Josh Sheehan, your 1, 2, 3 here at Monster Energy Moto X Best Trick. Let's send it down to Diana with David.
Congratulations. The Malachi roll, as you call it, has just won you a gold medal. Congratulations, David. Tell us about this moment.
Yeah, I don't know what to say now. I'm just stuck, super happy. I'm really proud to myself to prove to everybody that this trick is possible. And yeah, hard work pay off. I just want to say a big thank you to all the people who support me, my family, my friend, and of course my sponsors, Rockstar Energy and stuff. And yeah. Just happy.
Congratulations, David.
That is also his first ever X Games medal, so that's not a bad way to start your medal run, with the first one being gold. Jackson Strong, that's his 7th best trick medal in 7 attempts, and Josh Sheehan adds his 10th X Games medal to his trophy case. So that is a wrap here from Monster Energy Moto X Best Trick. But don't forget, look at that monstrosity in the background. We call that thing the Mega Ramp. Well, we've got skateboard big air coming up a little bit later on this afternoon. So right now, here's a look at our Pacifico Discover More with skateboard legend Elliott Sloan, who you will see in skate big air.
I'm Elliott Sloan. I'm originally from New York City, and I now live in Vista, California. X Games is the biggest contest of the year. It's the only big air contest that we have, and really just want to go there and make my stuff.
Oh my goodness! Elliott Sloan, an Indy 900. Yes! 94! Elliott Sloan taking over the top spot.
So I've got a vert ramp at the house, and I've got a smaller version of the big air ramp, and it's always been a dream of mine to have ramps in the backyard. You know, growing up in New York City, I lived in an apartment building, so it's pretty crazy just to think of something and then not even have to drive to the spot, like literally just walk out and try it. It's funny, people don't really skate big air like all year. Kind of just see them starting to show up like 2 months before the contest, and I don't know, for me, it's just like I've always loved skating it so much, so I try and skate it as much as I can.
So can Elliott Sloan get it done here yet again inside the U.S. Bank Stadium? You'll have to stick with us here in Minneapolis because the Real Cost Skateboard Big Air Final is coming up after this message and a word from our ABC stations.